I used to think betrayal had a sound, the silence after someone closes the door for the last time. When she left, there was no shouting, no grand fight, only the soft hum of the refrigerator and the echo of promises she had already broken. People warned me that love built on gratitude is fragile, but I never imagined gratitude could turn into revenge. She wanted to ruin me, and for a while she did. But now, when she sees what I've become, I know she remembers every choice that destroyed us. Because some ghosts don't haunt houses, they haunt mirrors. Before everything collapsed, our life looked perfect from the outside. Emma and I had built our world together, two small-town dreamers chasing comfort and meaning. I worked long hours managing a logistics firm. She ran an online craft business from home. We had a modest house with a backyard that glowed golden every sunset. To everyone else, we were the couple who made it, dependable, kind, predictable. But predictability hides decay. Emma had once been radiant with ideas, sketching designs, planning trips, filling notebooks with future plans. Over the years, I noticed her sketches changing, the vibrant colors fading into muted grays, the travel plans quietly replaced with spreadsheets of expenses. She never complained, but something behind her eyes grew distant. I assumed she was tired, maybe lonely. I thought providing was love. So I worked harder, longer nights, more meetings, endless calls, believing that a bigger paycheck could buy back the sparkle in her eyes. She never asked for money, though. She asked for me, and I didn't listen. Our routine hardened into silence. Breakfasts became checklists. Dinners became phone-lit gaps. When she smiled, it was the polite smile you give a stranger who lets you pass first. And still, I told myself we were fine. Because the alternative, admitting we were breaking, felt like failure. Then came Liam. He joined her craft community as a marketing consultant, a man who understood algorithms and art. I met him once at our home, a quick handshake that left me uneasy. His eyes stayed on her too long. His tone carried that subtle confidence of someone who already knows his importance. I brushed it off, jealousy, insecurity, the kind that eats good men for no reason. Weeks later, I found her laptop open on the dining table. A message blinked. He'll never see it coming. It wasn't meant for me. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I sat in the dark, listening to her breathe beside me, pretending to sleep. Betrayal doesn't arrive with thunder, it slips in quietly, like smoke through a keyhole. By morning, she was gone. No note, no call. Just an empty drawer and an echo of the life we built. The days after her departure blurred into one long ache. Friends offered sympathy, coworkers whispered, and my inbox filled with half-hearted encouragements. But the world doesn't pause for heartbreak. I still had targets to hit, bills to pay, and a company to keep afloat. Rumors trickled in. Emma had moved in with Liam, and together they were launching a new brand, her art, his marketing. Photos of their success story flooded social media, magazine features, smiling portraits, captions about second chances, and finding real happiness. Every post felt like a taunt. She wasn't just gone, she was rewriting our story, and I was the villain in her new version. The world loves redemption arcs, even false ones. No one questioned her narrative because betrayal sells better when it's wrapped in beauty. I tried to bury myself in work. But betrayal changes a person. It strips you down to the raw edges of who you are. For months, I barely slept, replaying every memory like a film I couldn't stop watching, searching for the moment it all shifted. Then one night, a mutual friend sent me an email, screenshots, invoices, and correspondence showing that months before she left, Emma had funneled my company's contacts to Liam's new startup. They had used my network, my clients, my data, everything I'd built, to build their empire. I remember staring at the screen, hands trembling, realizing it wasn't love she'd destroyed. It was my name. For the first time in my life, I didn't cry. I didn't yell. Something colder took over, a resolve sharpened by humiliation. Revenge, I learned, isn't always about hurting back. Sometimes it's about rising so high that your absence becomes their punishment. I liquidated what little was left of my business, moved cities, and started again. I took every painful lesson, every sleepless night, and built something new, a consultancy that valued ethics over shortcuts. Within a year, it grew faster than I imagined. My name, once a casualty, became a brand people trusted. And quietly, I watched from afar as Emma and Liam's empire began to crumble. Lawsuits, refunds, unpaid suppliers. Their perfect story couldn't hide the cracks for long. But I never reached out. The best revenge was silence, and success louder than any confrontation. It was 2 years later when I saw her again. I was invited to speak at a business conference, the same event where she once dreamt of showcasing her brand. When I walked onto that stage, the audience clapped. Cameras flashed. Somewhere near the back, I caught her eyes. She looked smaller, tired, her once bright aura dulled by the weight of choices. For a moment, time folded back. I remembered the girl who used to dance barefoot in the kitchen, who once believed in us. But betrayal leaves a scar that never really heals, it just stops bleeding. I spoke about rebuilding after loss, about integrity, about the quiet strength of starting again. I didn't mention her, not even once. Yet every word carried the shadow of what she'd done. When the talk ended, she waited near the hallway. Her voice trembled. "You did well." I smiled, not out of pride, but closure. "You taught me how to." There it was, the flicker of regret she couldn't hide. She wanted to explain, to justify, maybe to apologize. But there are some truths that no apology can rewrite. She tried to say something else, but I walked away. That night, I received a message from her. Just one line. "I see you everywhere now, and I can't forget." I didn't reply. She had her story, and I had mine. The difference was, mine didn't need to hurt someone to be true. The following morning, I deleted her message, not out of anger, but peace. Because forgiveness, I realized, isn't about letting them back in. It's about finally walking out without turning around. And in that moment I knew, the person she betrayed no longer existed. I had outgrown the version of myself that needed her love to feel whole. Years later, people still ask about the scar that shaped me. They see the confidence, the success, the calm, but not the war it took to earn them. Betrayal changes you in ways words can't fully capture. It rewires your trust, your silence, even the way you love. You start measuring sincerity not by words but by consistency. Emma eventually disappeared from the spotlight. Her brand folded, her partner moved on, and her name faded into digital dust. Sometimes I wonder if she ever found peace, or if every victory of mine reminded her of what she traded away. But I don't hate her. In some strange way, I thank her. Because losing her forced me to find myself, the version that doesn't beg to be seen, doesn't chase validation, doesn't mistake attention for affection. The betrayal that destroyed our marriage became the blueprint for my rebirth. I learned that love isn't proven through sacrifice, it's sustained through mutual respect. And when respect dies, everything else is just performance. Looking back, I don't see tragedy anymore, I see transformation. Every moment she lied, I learned truth. Every time she turned away, I learned direction. If she were to see me now, surrounded by people who value loyalty, standing on a foundation built from honesty, maybe she'd understand that betrayal doesn't define the betrayed. It defines the betrayer. And that's the irony, she set out to erase me, but in doing so, she immortalized me in her regret. Because memory has a cruel way of keeping its promises, especially the ones made in guilt. So, when I close my eyes and think of her now, there's no anger left. Only clarity. We were never meant to last. We were meant to teach. And maybe that's what betrayal really is, not an ending, but an education in who deserves a seat at your peace. In the end, I built a life that didn't need revenge to feel righteous, and she became a reminder carved in silence. So I ask you, whoever's listening, when someone betrays you, do you let them define your downfall, or your rebirth?